Welcome everybody to episode 137 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We're your host, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson, and welcome to all you listeners at Central Coast Radio. Russell, how you going?
I'm very good. I'm feeling that the show is lacking a little bit of star-studdedness after having Tyson on last week. That was kind of cool.
That was amazing, actually. I did miss a little bit from the Facebook chat, but it was we had some very impressed listeners in the live feed saying that we spoke it into existence, that we were talking about getting Tyson on the show, and when we were talking about, I think it was the Agent 23, the Jordan art card, and said we need to get Tyson on, and a week later, bang, there he was.
So that you could say that. Or you could also say, too, that Tyson is just very amenable to working with us and was very happy to come on as soon as we sent him a message. So there's the truth and there's the truth. And I don't mind.
We could, yeah, the truth. The truth.
I don't mind which one that you pick, to be perfectly honest.
Let the listeners decide, shall we?
He's a really interesting man. He's a lovely man. I think this is the thing that's been ringing through my head since I did have a conversation with him. Just really lovely guy. So Tyson, thank you so much again. What was your favorite takeaway or your favorite footnote from the show? Because I wanted to recap this a little bit with you.
Yeah, like for such humble beginnings, like doing desktop wallpapers.
He's a humble dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a feel good story, and I think Tyson's been on a hell of a journey. It's an amazing story. And for such an amazing human being to sort of give us his time, it was great. It was a great experience. I was really looking forward to it, and it didn't disappoint. The 20 minutes he was going to give us turned into well over an hour and 20, I think, by the end.
Yeah, and I actually feel like we had to almost cut him off, to be honest. Like that's how.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Happy he was, yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved his story, just like what you said, and his beginnings. That was really cool. And I loved the part where he had the idea that he could do it. One day he just said, why don't I make cards? And I love those stories. And I'm actually quite fascinated by that, by how people get those ideas. So I probably should have pushed him on that a little bit more, but it didn't feel that maybe organic. So I enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed his take on the downtown cards. And he didn't go on about it a lot, but that was like the one that I liked the most, where basically he said, like, I don't want to do those cards. They're perfect as they are. We don't need to rip them off. We don't need to redo them. I really liked that. That was really cool. So and then the other thing that happened for us on the weekend too is it was EJ Cards Trader Day. So I thought we could just do a really quick recap on that. And then, of course, just shout out to our boys down at EJ Cards. So EJ Cards are our sponsor. They've been our sponsor virtually from day one. So thank you so much for all of your support. Shop 3, 2 to 4 Whitehorse Road is where you'll find them. You'll also find them on Instagram at ejcards.au. On Facebook, EJ Sports Breaks. Jules is always ripping wax on there, so check out their breaks on that. If you do go into the shop, they've got heaps of boxes of singles to look through. They've got cards in their cabinets. They've got sealed product on the walls. And of course, you've got their customer service, which is very friendly, very knowledgeable, and they always help a brother out. So definitely check out the boys at EJ Cards.
Yeah.
I had a really good trader day. So I've been building up a little box of trade cards that I'm not emotionally attached to. I'm very happy to move these cards on. And I've been picking them up on eBay. I've been buying them at the trade days. I've been trading with guys. And I wouldn't say I accidentally bought a Magic Johnson card, but I ended up with 2 of them. So I was very happy to let one of them go. I had both of them in my trade box.
Yeah.
And there was someone there that definitely wanted one of them. So I was like, great. And I looked through his box, and then the card that I picked out was worth more than my Magic, and I topped it up with cash. So I'm really excited about this because it was a Jaylen Brown silver rookie PSA 10. And we've been talking about this on the show. Yeah, right. And so I basically turned something that I'm not saying I didn't want the Magic autograph. Like I did, but I also wanted to move it on. So I moved on something that I was very, happy to move on into something that we had been talking about being maybe a little bit undervalued.
Yeah.
Maybe got a bit of legs, going to the future. So I'm kind of happy about that to see, where that takes me. And if it doesn't go anywhere, I'm just happy to chuck that into my collection, to be perfectly honest. So
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, isn't that what trade days are all about, right? It's about yeah, it's about acquiring those cards that you might not necessarily want that other people do, and it's finding that sort of balance.
yeah, I'm actually really
That's the
enjoying
fun
it. I
of it.
feel like
Yeah.
it's taken me a few months to get this box up to a point where it is now, but I'm actually really enjoying it. Yeah. And then Saturday, you went down to a card shop. Why don't you tell us about
I
your experience?
did. I popped in. I'll admit, I went. I went for a bit of a Wemby hunt, and was not gonna walk out with some Don Russ or hoops. So I wanted some Prism. There wasn't any, so I went Paolo Banchero hunting and got a couple of Prism blasters from MSF Sports Cards
Cool.
in Mulgrave. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice to just sort of pop in, have a look around, see what's available. Funnily enough, in one of the price boxes, there was a pile of Jordans, and I was tempted. I didn't pick it up, but it was the Agent 23 was
Cool.
was in the Jordan box, and I'm like,
Yeah.
close, but no. I wanted the top 10, that '90s one. Anyway, but yeah, it was a good day. It was good. It popped in. I didn't get a Paolo. I think I got like a Walker Kessler green or something out of my
Ripping
box.
waxes can be brutal, man,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's fun. It
yeah,
is,
yeah.
as much as it's not fun. It's fun.
No, I think you do have to admit the realities. You know what I really hate at the moment is these people that do this is my first pack and it's got a numbered Wemby in it, or those guys who are sitting in their cars
Yeah.
ripping a pack of hoops and it's got a Spectra RPA in it. I hate those guys so bad.
Imagine just like opening pack after pack. Every time you open a pack, my first pack, I'm just gonna open it up and do that like 80 times.
So I think we're going to start off the show with Wemby again. I still think this is the biggest hobby story at the moment. And this is actually a bit of a continuation on really from 2 episodes now. So this was actually on the planning table from last week, which we didn't get around to. So this was a social media post that we put up onto Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So it was quickly run through this. But basically, I did some photoshopping, which Tyson Beck would not be proud of. But for me, this is like pretty sweet, Tyson. All right. So it's the blank slate versus the level 4. We've both had our votes already. I was pro the blank slate. What did you pick? I can't remember.
I think
mate.
I was on the blank slate, but yeah, the level 4. I think because of Wemby, the Wemby version of the level 4 looks all right. I don't like the way the level 4s are this year, not particularly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the black slate, I do like. I don't know. I like the fact that the slate is black instead of white this year.
I think that phrase is catching on. And actually, I saw one in hand at EJ Cards on the weekend, and it looked fantastic. So I'm really doubling down on this theory, actually.
Or a bold impact about it.
So Luke Rowe actually likes the level 3 better than the level 4s, and he says he likes the old slate. So doesn't exactly answer the question, but it definitely does add to the conversation. And it's actually really funny for me, like why people like the old blank slates so much. I don't want to sound pessimistic about this, but I also do wonder if it is a little bit because they did gem so well. So they're such a great card for people. You buy them raw, send them off and get graded. Whereas I think, that has been almost entirely eliminated out of this card due to the border, the black on the card that's going to show up the edges, all that type of stuff. So I think the equation on these cards has changed a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Our next response is from Sean Alloway, blank slate for sure. Yeah, I don't like the border around it, but will make any off-centering much more noticeable. Absolutely, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Matthew Hull, I'm taking the Auroras. So he's really trying to trick us all here. Drive the slate
Cheeky.
price down so we can buy and hold for 30 years from now $1 million slates. Look, I think the cat's out on the bag on this one, Matty. Honestly, you're not going to be able to hide this from anyone. Matty Tabe, slate on this one. But I believe the level 4 are super rare in this set and not guaranteed per case. Yeah, so there's actually more than one case hit in Court Kings hobby this year.
Mm-hmm.
And what Matt is saying about that is actually correct. And that was the same as last year. So there were some cases that didn't have a single level 4 in it, which sort of blows my mind a little bit, to be honest. Ross Berman should have kept them white with a black 1 of 1 maybe. That's actually a cool idea.
Whoa, like the 1 of 1 black slate.
But let me be devil's advocate here. What if you did it the other way? You had the black, which is the general population one, then you had the 1 of 1 that was like last year's design.
The white. Ooh.
I think that would make people froth, to be honest. Yeah. Timothy Price, the black blank sleeves are one of the nicer cards Panini has come up with in recent times. I get the opinion regarding a border on them, but I think it adds a level of class to the card. Black and gold trim is an all-time combo. I got to say, I feel like Timothy Price and I are just on a direct wavelength right here. So
yeah, and I've made it in time for the last comment.
Welcome, mate.
Luke Batterston said the black blank slates are fire, straight fire. Agreed.
Now, we actually had some replies on Instagram, so I'm going to go through these 100%.
Go for it.
Lena Cards, 22, so dope. Hands clapping and some fires. I'm sure there's a more younger person way to read those emojis, but I apologize.
No, let's read them like old people. It's more fun that way.
The new card smell, something about the level 4 design. I'm digging it. Great. You know, what you love is what you love.
Yeah.
Surly Sports Cards, blank slate all day. So, yeah.
Now, I think some love for Court Kings. Definitely some love for Court Kings.
Absolutely. I think what we should do is now just talk a little bit about pricing on these, because there has been some absolutely wild sales on these. Now, there's been more than one sold price on this for more than 5,000 US, but a couple of weeks ago, just before we duck into those, I do want to talk about the level 2, because we talked about this, and the last time we spoke about it, the auction hadn't finished. And what's special about this, in particular, this level 2, is that it's a black label BGS. So I might play a little bit of a guessing game here, Ad, with you for a second. What do you think that black label sold for on the level 2?
So it's a level 2, but it's a black label.
Yeah, they're found in blasters. There's lots of them in blasters this year. There seems to be more level 2s than level 1s. So you'll get level 2s very commonly out of blasters, and you'll also get them out of hobby.
I'd at least a couple of thousand, wouldn't it? For a P, it's not even a 10. It's a black label 10, even more than.
Yeah.
What did we finish at?
Finished at 1,855. So your guess of a couple of thousand is very close. So, you know, we've been talking a lot lately about BGS, PSA, you know, what's happening in these areas, and I think this is actually a very significant purchase, because as much as we're poo-pooed BGS, saying even maybe they're going to be out of the grading market.
Yeah, I don't know. The black label still carries some weight, doesn't it?
Carries a lot of weight. Like, realistically, how much is that card worth? $50, $100 in maybe 12 months. Maximum $100 in 12 months. It's a level 2. Population on that is going to be 20,000.
Black label, though?
No, not the black label. So what I'm saying is...
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, for that,
it basically adds $1,800 worth of value to it being black label.
Yeah, you're right. It's, quality over quantity almost.
That is one way of saying it, yeah.
Quite literally. Look, I think BGS might be, the BGS black label might be that sort of, diamond in the rough, so to speak. But, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a deal and Beckett will get bought out rather than just fade into existence. I can't see Beckett just disappearing.
They're going to switch into something else, yeah.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
But okay.
So I would say for this, to me, is congratulations to the seller, not so much to the buyer. I think that's going to be a little bit of a tricky purchase to manage going to the future. We're in this huge hype wave at the moment with Wemby. So that to me is a little bit of a buyer beware, but at the same time... I've been wrong about so many different things. So these are some of the prices on the blank slates, or as you say, the black slates. 5,632 USD was the sale price for that, and then 5,300. So that's the two most recent purchases that we haven't discussed. And I think where I'm sort of sitting with this now is I'm feeling scared is not the right word, but I'm feeling a little bit not too sure about, where this is all heading, and is that actually healthy for the hobby? Is that actually, good for the hobby? Is it actually bad? So where are you at when you see sale prices like that on something that...
I think we actually we kind of discussed it last week, didn't we? About
Sure,
paying future prices.
let's recap it again then really quickly, because I do think this
Yeah.
is worth talking about
Oh, for
again.
sure. For
Even if we
sure.
have talked about it, let's just do it really quickly because...
Well, I think it's a valid point. I think it's a very, very relevant, very valid point because,
Yeah.
was it last week or the week before that the hashtag Luke is never going to win a chip is going to be my new hashtag? It's not about that. It's about
I
that
hate
Luke is
this hashtag
valued.
already. It hasn't even gone viral and I hate it, Ad. I'm not going to lie to
Don't
you.
you worry. Don't you worry. When he doesn't win a chip, I'll just sit here and say I told you so.
You can message me in 20 years and be like,
But we're paying the price for Luka Doncic as if he's got 3 MVPs and 2 championships or 4 championships. We're paying out thousands of dollars for Wemby because he's shown that he could transform the game, but he hasn't done it yet. And I think the hobby as a whole has a tendency to really jump on board the hype train.
Yeah,
and
totally.
The train, to keep with the metaphor, runs express to the end of this player's career.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of these players have to earn their stripes, and yeah, we probably jump the gun a little bit. Not to say that it's not worth it, because it's the market that dictates the price, but yeah, just...
So I'm actually really enjoying this hype train at the moment, and actually I think it's, to be honest, I think it's good for the hobby because
for sure
we have had, I'm going to use air quotes at the moment, we've had some rough times, and we've also seen a lot of change in the hobby with a lot of people come in, a lot of people leave. The landscape changed dramatically. Base cards were selling for, stupid prices. So in some ways, I don't mind this because at least this is not a base card that's graded to 10. Like, this is actually a short printed card that is, in my opinion, going to be iconic. So I'm not totally down on this, but this is where I am going to lead into this though is, so let's just say you have $5,600.
Mm-hmm.
What could you spend on it? So here's an example that just sold recently. This is from Card Ladder. Our friends at Card Ladder, thank you so much. I love your content. Nikola Jokic Prism rookie card, number to 65 on the orange.
Yep.
Now, this last sold, this is not dollar for dollar, but it's, in my mind, close enough considering the amount that we're talking about. Last sold for $6,500. BGS 9.5 graded. Now, for that age of the card, for 2015, what you need to remember is that back in those days, BGS was king. So this is the same equivalent of a Victor being graded with PSA. It's the same thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather have this Nikola Jokic with this guy have won 2 MVPs already? I'm pretty sure he's going to win another one this year. I'm feeling...
He's in the race.
It's not even controversial, I feel, in my mind to say that now. He's got 1 championship.
He's got a championship. They're in a very good position to go back to back.
Right.
For him to win his third title, third MVP.
So I actually call this Jokic card high-end prospecting because I think that Wemby is high-end prospecting, but that's high-risk, high-end prospecting, whereas this is like high-end prospecting with a little bit of that risk taken out. The dude's already got a championship. He's already got 2 MVPs. So
yeah. He's got the runs on the board. Like, he's got for sure.
I like this a lot, And look, if I had to choose between the two, as much as I love that blank slate, I'm just worried about that becoming a liability in the future. Whereas with something like this, I'm like, that to me is very juicy. I like this a lot. So, yeah. What would you choose between these two, mate?
Take the Jokic.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty simple. Like, it's a numbered, like low pop numbered, like proven performer. The only downside being he's a big. That's like, we had this chat as well. Like, like the performance of centers, but this guy is historical. Like, he's about to get into some very elite company if he wins that third MVP.
Definitely.
And then I don't think Denver are done yet as far as their winning goes.
No, their roster is not cooked by any means.
Yeah.
I think that Aaron Gordon Jokic combo is awesome. Jamal Murray's been injured, but still they're good together, and they've got like a lot of young kids in their stable. I'm going to use that word. Let's take a moment to have a break. This is a perfect time to have a break. We'll go to a commercial break, and if you're listening on the radio show, we'll put in a little bit of music for you too. So we'll be right back. The Bangman March Gold Edition is now live. Limited edition number of boxes being packed up, which include 23-24 Prism Hobby Packet, 23-24 Prism Hobby Packet again, 22-23 Select Hobby Packet, 21-22 Select Hobby Packet, 21-22 Select H2, 21-22 Prism Fast Break, payment options, Pay ID, PayPal, Afterpay, Zip Pay. He's got it all there for you. 6 big packets, 3 rookie classes, $4.99 delivered to your door in the unmissable Bangman packaging. Use the promo code youcantcompthis for a $15 discount. Thank you so much, Amir and team at Bangman, for supporting the show.
Russ, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Thank you, Bangman, for your ongoing support. We really do appreciate it. This next article, I don't know how this next segment's going to go, Ad, so just sort of bear with me on this a little bit. It's a little bit of a non-story, but at the same time, I feel like if we don't discuss it, we might be missing out on something important. So this is about the G League Ignite. So the Ignite are a team in the G League, and they are basically owned by the NBA. Mm-hmm. And the idea behind this team was to bring young men into the league that couldn't go to college due to ineligibility, or they wanted to become pro when they basically couldn't become pro because of the collective bargaining agreement. So the issue that they were having in the G League, though, is their record. They were absolutely getting smashed every game. So 2-28 is their current record. And if you're asking my personal opinion about this, and I can't even say I'm the biggest G League connoisseur in the world, but I've watched enough to sort of realize the people that play in the G League, some of them are just as good as NBA players, but it's about the opportunity that they're not getting in the NBA as opposed to not being NBA players. So I think putting 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds against, grown men who are NBA players, like that is a tough ask. And hence why they're getting, obliterated, week in and week out. Now, does that mean that the G League has been a failure? I don't think so at all. So these are some of the names that have come through it. Scoot Henderson, Jalen Green, Dyson Daniels. And if you're asking my opinion, Jonathan Kuminga is their biggest success because Kuminga is a legitimate NBA player.
Yeah.
Yes, he's raw, and yes, he's gone to a really, really good team in the Warriors, but I don't think you can take that away from him either. So
not at all.
I think the politics behind this is that now that the NCAA has changed the rules in terms of people, let me rephrase that, players getting remuneration and sponsorship deals, it makes the G League less influential because this was the void that they were trying to fill.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that was reported, and I didn't read this in print, I heard this on a podcast, they were talking about the price tag that the NBA's put into this. Allegedly, they've spent $7 million on this. And so how you measure that investment coming back to you, look, I'm not really too sure, but I don't think that's, a massive, return. There is another team that is a full scholarship team. They give them classes and it's the same sort of deal. It's the OTE team or the OT league. They'll still be in existence and they'll still be going. So now I actually believe that money comes from private equity. So that's from a different, bucket of money altogether. But I got to be honest with you, I actually think it's a really good idea. And there has to be kids that, won't get caught in the college system. So
yeah, I look, any kind of incentive to sort of help, I think, develop players that are not as fortunate or don't get on those fast tracks is, it's positive.
Yeah, definitely. I do just worry that, if they do take this away, there is going to be a group of kids that, won't get picked up. But at the same time, how do we now tie this back to cards? So Prism Draft, these kids can be in that. And the other one too is there was like a Topps University product that they released. And this is the other reason why I don't know how well this segment's going to be received is because really no one collected those cards. It was something that came out and people were interested in them because it was the first look at Topps in such a very, very long time. It was their first rookie cards. They put that whole, logo onto it. But I think if we're being realistic here, those cards might have sold for $50 to $100 at the absolute top of it.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Like, we're not talking thousands of dollars. So Does this move the needle for the NBA? Probably not. Does this move the needle for the hobby?
Probably not as
Probably
well.
not. But, I mean, geez, I just feel like if we didn't talk about it, then we would be missing some narrative around Scoot, Jalen Green, Kuminga. So,
yeah, no, I think there, like, there's an impact as small as it is. It's still an impact.
Absolutely. All right. So going from the smallest shell in the ocean to probably one of the biggest ones. This is from Darren Rovell at Darren Rovell. The LeBron James, Brony James, 1 of 1 super refractor has sold recently, and it was PSA 10 that it came back. So congratulations to both the buyer and the seller. This sold for $114,000. I don't mind this at all. I can't believe I'm saying that because my general feeling about Bowman Chrome University is it's equal parts to Prism Draft, and we all know about the prices on that. That has not been particularly well received. But this is different because this is LeBron James on card autograph with his son. I think this is a very unique card.
I think it's incredibly unique.
Yeah.
It's I think the price that was paid is a bargain.
And I'm saying this in the least troll way possible, in the most objective way possible.
Mm-hmm.
I also think this is significant too because it's not guaranteed that Bronny James is coming to the NBA.
Ooh. Yeah. It's not. Look, it hasn't happened yet. A lot can happen between him getting into the league. Anything could happen.
I think the competition to get to the NBA is really stiff, and I
feel like he's going to get through on, even if he does get really bad at basketball on the coattails of his old man.
So let's call that nepotism. Can we agree on that?
Sure.
Even if he does get through on that,
he'll be out pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, what's the other current comparison to that happening in the league at the moment? Like Giannis's brothers.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Thanasis.
You can't say the LaMelo Ball brothers because there's 2 of them in there at the moment and one's badly injured and one is an all-star also injured, but still.
But have you noticed that Lonzo's cleared for duties?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's allowed to do some contact work. Lonzo will be back on the court, hopefully. Prayers up. Let's hope he...
Can I be honest with you, mate? I've actually written him off in my mind as retired.
May as well be, but it'd just be nice to see him. Just so we can get that Grady Dick jersey swap. Anyway.
What's the over-under of Grady Dick jersey swap jokes you're going to make this episode?
It's at least 5. Well, no,
I was going to say 8.
That's the more than 8.
Oh, actually, you're right, because we did a lot of these jokes off air. You were right.
Don't worry. But I'm sure I can get over 8.
Anyway, back to this 1 of 1.
It's an impressive 1 of 1.
Is this a buy, hold, or sell for you at 114?
That's a buy.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Actually, this didn't go higher. Yeah.
Like, that's a piece of history. Look, it's not... Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, Dell and Steph Curry, it's not... They didn't play at the same time. Like, this is historic. If they both set foot on an NBA court together, this card is... Like, it's a dual autograph. How like, I know LeBron is going to start signing again, but... Like, this is important. This is literally a piece of history. Yeah. And I think it will happen. I think they will. I do think they will step out on an NBA court together.
Yeah. I feel less confident than you that they will play together, but I do think that card is significant, even if he never plays in the NBA. I think it's just very creative.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This is from our friend Eric Whiteback. Who is actually running this account anymore? We don't know, but as long as the content keeps coming, I'm probably going to... You
don't sound as excited now. He's not...
I'm not going to lie to you. The gloss has come off a little bit now that he's sold his account.
Yeah.
I feel a bit robbed.
Yeah. Oh, look, it'll be interesting to see what he does in the hobby moving forward. Because, I think it'll be interesting. And we know... Yeah.
So this next segment is a picture. It's a whole bunch of cards sitting on someone's desk. And to summarize it, it is...
I've got a picture up. I'll put it for those playing at home on any of the video feeds while Russell describes it.
It's probably 200 PSA 10 Victor Wembanyama Hoops rookie base cards.
We're just talking about the white, like 1 of 1s and all the rest of it. And now it's like, is this concerning?
So basically that's what Eric is saying. What is your reaction to this? So I think we just do this as a reaction piece. I think that's totally fine. The other thing we should just quickly add is if you are listening on the podcast, you can click on the podcast description and all of the links to each of these sections will be in there. So if you do wish to look at the cards, you can do it from Adam's live video or you can do it on the podcast description.
So if you're listening on the radio,
that is trickier.
You can go back into the Facebook and find the video.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's one way to do it. There's a few
That's a
ways.
lot of work, though.
Yeah.
We might need to talk to Angelica about this too.
We'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
But to describe it, that's a lot of Wemby. I personally would probably buy a level 2 black label.
So yes, you could do that. The problem with that is that the price is quite different. So to get a Hoops 10, it's 78 USD. So basically about $1,800 price difference add.
What? So I'm just going to round it up to 1,900. How much did you say? 78 US.
78 USD.
So I reckon there's more than 25 of them there. So I'm still buying a level 2. If there's there's 25 PSA 10s, I'm still buying a level 2.
So look, the reason why I brought this up is because it's a good conversation piece. This is the behavior that some people do. They will go out and buy as much retail or, cheap hobby that they can and send these off in absolute bulk to PSA and then put them out into the market. Keeping in mind that this guy is A, very liquid at the moment, B, as hot as anything, and C also too, and this is an important part and maybe a less negative part about the hobby, is that this is touching a price point that people can afford relatively easy. So for example, something's less than $100. That is, I'm not going to say that like the numbers here exactly, but it's a lot cheaper than going out and spending $1,800 on the black label level 2 Court Kings that we're discussing earlier, right? So that also fits into it here. But I think for me, that's like the real thing too. This is more just like an education piece of, be really wary of buying cards that aren't numbered, because this is the type of thing this is what exactly happens. And I think the other thing to, also add to the context of this too is this is one episode of this. So if you imagine, let's say there's 5 other people doing this per day.
Yeah. This is what it looks like if you're sitting on the hype train at the next carriage.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just a pile of Wembys.
At the next station, which is 12 months' time.
There's a guy with a briefcase just selling Wemby PSA 10s.
What's your reaction to this? When you saw this picture, how did you feel? What did you think?
I'm like, and that's why I didn't buy the Don Russ on the weekend and went prism hunting. Went for Paolo.
Yeah.
I was going to go digging for a Cade, and I'm like, nah, we'll be right. Thought I'd get me a Paolo. He just dropped a triple-double beforehand. I want some Paolo.
Do you want to talk about Paolo for 5 minutes?
No, he'll get his turn to shine.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Yeah. I think Wemby's the focus at the moment. Look, I don't think the hoopla, is all that unusual. I think it does happen like every year. And look, go way back to when we spoke with like I remember we were talking to Mike on from Sports Cards Nonsense, and the reason he grades with SGC, I mean, they've got to deal with them, of course, but it's the turnaround.
Yeah.
It's like straight to market. These cards have not been on the market long, and they're already in serious volume.
Yeah.
PSA 10s available. Do you know what I mean? Like getting it out into the market quickly is also a selling point. That's why that hype train is so full, I guess. People are buying because it's only just come out. It's the new,
definitely.
It's the newest thing, and getting the turnaround on like having a raw and selling the raw versus bulk grading those to get your 10s. It's just a different strategy. It's like turn it around quickly because you're the first lot on the market.
Yeah.
But as you pointed out, by the next station, there's another 3 blokes with suitcases full of hoops, PSA 10s.
Yeah. Okay. I think what we should do now is have a quick break, go into our next commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some cherry blossom cards.
Sounds like a plan.
This next ad break is brought to you by Slambox, Australia's best value basketball repacks. Visit www.slambox.com.au to check out the latest series or join the Slambox Facebook page and message them directly. Slambox features big-name autos including Giannis, Zion, LaMelo, Banchero, Chet, Ja, Tatum, and more. Super short prints, case hits from a variety of different products including National Treasures, Flawless, Noir, Immaculate, Impeccable, and more. Slambox has different tiered product levels to cater for all budget levels and collector preferences. Thank you, Slambox, for your support. Alrighty, we are back. And this next segment is a bit of an interesting one for me because I always wondered how many parallels can Panini pump this out to. And they have definitely been testing the limits, but despite the fact that they have absolutely tested the limits, they've also hit a home run here. And my personality type sometimes is that I see something and either I underappreciate it or don't like it at all. But then after a couple of days, it's still lingering in my head. Then I go back and look at it again, or if it's music, I'll go back and listen to it again. And then I'm kind of like, actually, I don't mind this. And these cherry blossoms have grown on me in a very unhealthy way. Like I'm searching on these on eBay a lot more than I'd probably care to admit to. So they are numbered to 20. So they are, they're a short printed card. I believe these come out of choice, not out of hobby. So if you're specifically chasing for these and you want to open a box of it, it's Prism Choice, not Prism Hobby. Now the comps
I'm having
on this,
a look. I'm trying to understand the appeal.
And if you ask me, what it is, I actually think it's because it's so unique. I'm trying to think of what is another card that has had a similar print as a parallel compared to this. Maybe the Photon from Optic.
Yeah.
And there was a dragon at an Optic that kind of had a bit more flair to it.
What's the
in Spectra?
There's the Impact in Revolution, which you've coined the mini kaboom. I like the Impact.
I like that, but to me that's more angles and mathematics as opposed to graphic design laid onto a card.
Yeah, fair. So I'm getting lost in the color. And I'm like, what team's going to color match that? And
it's very pink. It's very pink. And definitely that was one of my first observations. And the other one too is they did a goldfish short print in Spectra.
Oh.
And that was super weird. And that never took off at all. And I would probably say the comps on that are probably half of what they're doing on this cherry blossom. So I found a few. Herbert Jones. This is a veteran card. This is not a rookie card. That sold for $41 USD. And I would say that is, in my head, probably double what I was expecting it to sell for. Yeah. This is from 130 Point. Now, this was a lot. So there was 3 cherry blossoms in this lot. That sold for 162 USD. There was a few other cards in there too, so that one's a little bit tricky to manage.
Yeah.
This one is excuse my pronunciation, Kaziko, rookie for the Nets this year. That sold for 155. So, again, for a rookie that's not really getting a lot of burn, I'm not really too sure about this. Now, this next one is going to blow your mind. G.G. Jackson for the Memphis Grizzlies, 19 out of 20 on his Blossom, sold for 1,500.
What?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
1,500 for G.G. Jackson. Look, I actually don't mind G.G. I think he's a decent prospect, but at the same time, that's big coin.
Yep.
Tristan Vucevic for the Wizards, 10 out of 20 on his $128. That's a rookie card. Yep. And then the last one is a veteran card. So Jeremy Grant, that was 46. So that's very comparable to the Herb Jones that we talked about at the top of that sheet. So
interesting.
All right, now that I've cherry blossomed you probably into oblivion.
My allergies are starting to play up with all that cherry blossom. Yeah.
They're wild, these cards, aren't they? So where are you at with these cards? How do you feel about this?
I don't know. Cherry Blossom was an interesting one to lead with, I think.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to see how many parallels I can come up with, remember Panini also owns Select, so don't you worry, they got plenty in the bag. 40 different one-of-ones coming your way. I hope
mean,
they don't start doing farm animals. That'd be weird.
They do animals already in some ways. They've got
In
the
Select, they do.
elephant, the zebra, the tiger,
Yeah, but that's it. That's a Select one. They don't.
peacock.
Do they do that in Prism?
No.
No.
There's the tiger stripe in Prism.
Aha. But yeah. They've got more parallels. Don't you worry. They will come up with plenty.
But would you buy that parallel?
Probably not.
That's okay.
Probably not.
Next week, if it's been on your mind and you have been thinking about it, can you just confess and be like, actually?
Actually, I went and picked up an Austin root. No. Who would I get in a cherry blossom? Interesting. I'll think about it.
I think I'd probably just go for a fox, to be honest. I think that will be really cool. And the reason why I found the herb one is because I'm going through a herb phase at the moment, but I just can't justify the rookie prices on those.
I'll see if I can find a Julius Randle. See if I can get a Randle.
Yeah. PC only, perhaps.
Yeah.
This next segment is a Spectra segment that we did on the Facebook social. So again, You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card podcast is where you'll find us. And this is all about people sharing their Spectra Mailday. So Matthew Hull, Pop 1, Gem Mint 10, 4 out of 8 on this Spectra die cut. And they're super, super hard to jam too. So congratulations, Matty. That could be Pop 1 for forever, frankly.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome looking card. Who's next? Mark Smith. Gold number to 10, DeJounte Murray.
The short printed Spectra stuff holds up really well.
Yeah. I can't really tell that it's gold. Sort of can, but it's just very shiny.
Yeah, I can see the gold there, but I know what you're saying. It's so shiny. It's almost reflecting the light back off the card without anything coming back. Yeah. This next one's for Joel. So hi, Joel. I hope you're really well, mate. He also has the die cut to 8, but this one is Anthony Edwards.
And that's a pretty card.
I have to say, this is probably a really good time to segue into a little bit of Anthony Edwards. He dunked on 2 people in the last week, which both of those dunks could be...
He's catching bodies. That
arguably
is
dunk of the year. But the one really interesting thing I actually took out of that was that the Utah Jazz gave up the most dunks in the last 25 years in that game against the Wolves.
Wow.
And not that this is a gambling podcast and not that I'm gambling anymore, but it does make me wonder that betting on the Jazz to win is an absolute stay away at the moment. I get the feeling that they're doing their last year trick, basically. Started off the season pretty well and then just started to tank towards the end. And then the final takeaway from Anthony Edwards was what Jordan said about him. He basically said that there's a little bit of him in Edwards. So
I did you like in order aside from taking like bodies with him recently, did you see him bump his head on was it the ring or the backboard?
He jumped so high blocking the shot. Yeah, he literally hit his head on the ring.
Hit his head on the ring.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of impressive.
I think we should just really quickly check Edwards' prices because there's something happening with Anthony Edwards at the moment.
This is his year, isn't it? This is the spike year. This is where he's sort of making a name for himself. Team USA.
Yeah.
Historically, this is a good leap year for a player from go to Sada superstar. So I think he's,
I agree with that too. And I think he could have really gone either way this year. And I think in my mind, he's really solidified himself as someone that you should feel confident in purchasing.
Yeah.
I just want to look at the last year and then we'll go in from that. So in the last year, he's actually pretty much exactly the same. Minus 2.2%, which to me is fascinating. In the last 6 months, he's actually down 15%. In the last 3 months, he's up 1%. In the last 1 month, he's down. That is fascinating. Alrighty, so his current price is $586 USD.
Yep.
All right, we have to do this. Buy, hold, or sell. What are you doing with this card, mate?
I'm buying.
Population 1,500, though.
I'm selling. I feel like this is the quantity over quality. Like that's a lot of PSA 10s. Do you know what I mean? Like 1,500, and I'm gonna do it because the numbers go up every week.
So maybe the market is actually right for once. This is correctly priced, this card.
That's a lot.
Because in my head, I was like, how could this guy be going down? But maybe we're looking at the wrong cards.
All right. Oh, no, Luca's still 2,200. So I was double checking, and we're almost at 20,000 Luka base 10s. Anyway, sorry, back to Edwards.
No, keep going, man. It's totally fine.
I just think it's interesting. Like we're looking at the PSA 10 numbers for Ant-Man. Like there's 700 less in the pop count, and it's $600 cheaper. Now, granted, Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic have the same number of MVPs and the same number of championships, except his team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, are in the top 3 in the West.
Look, I actually don't have a problem with the price on that, but what I do think is, I think if you put your money into that, really it's more about the risk of it going down just because of the high pop count and maybe him getting injured or whatever, right?
All right.
So just hear me out with this for 2 seconds. So I think you look at other cards, and they don't even need to be numbered. So for example, the Hyper, the pop on that is 129. We know how hard these are to gem because of the print lines that you can get on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same price. It's $600.
Wow.
So do you say, look, this is not the traditional silver that everyone froths over, but at the same time, there's 10 times less of these. It's about the same price, and you just walk down that.
Can I give you one?
Yeah,
numbered, of course. Fast Break Blue.
Yeah, sure.
Last sold for 1,400. Pop 34.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Like anything you go numbered. So that's why I thought I'd choose a parallel, but was still relatively low numbered. Do you know?
Well, I'm trying to look at and this is for relevance rather than taking a shot at our lovely friend Mr. Doncic.
No, it's totally fine.
But I think like for the price of the number to 125 is like $4,500. Do you know what I mean? Like for 1,400, you can pick up like this was last sold March 8th.
So
1,400.
Pros on that, it's color match. Cons on that is fast break. I don't think the market is as hungry for fast break as they are for.
Yeah. It's funny because it's the same image.
Yeah.
I find that hilarious because there's 175 of them.
I think they're just
a little bit pop 34.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But Luka Doncic is selling for 1,100. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's at 2,500, the pop count.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's what I mean. They're paying overs for Luka.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying that this is, I'm saying this is where you could spend your money. Like this is, I mean, everyone knows that I'm not the biggest fan of Luka's prices.
You're not? I thought you were his biggest fanboy. What are you talking about?
I actually think Luka's not a bad little basketballer. He just has. I just think everyone's paying 2042 prices, not 2024.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
We've segued. Yeah. As hard as You Can't Comp This can segue, we have just done it. So we're going to come back. Luke Batterson on-card autographs in color graphs are very nice. And it's your boy, Luka. That is an absolutely amazing card. So, Luke, congratulations, mate.
Yeah, that is a very nice card. Is that a sticker auto?
I don't think so. I think that's on card. It's too big for a sticker, I think.
Yeah, true.
Jared Begg with his beautiful Russell Westbrook mini rainbow, the white sparkle, the blue fast break, I think that is, and then the green scope. So beautiful set there, Jared.
Nice Russes, yeah. Very, very, very nice. Oh, next up, Daniel Waldschmidt. Dirk Nowitzki, full spectrum. That's a nice card.
Now, this is interesting, this one. So 2 things. He's got a custom sticker on his One Touch, so kudos to whoever made that. That's excellent. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is the one time where I have no problem at all with this being a sticker, because I looked at that card and it looked fine.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Because normally the first thing you say is, I don't want that. It's a sticker. Yeah, but that is completely fine. Yeah, beautiful pickup.
No, that is nice. That's a very nice card.
Daniel, again, this is the 75th anniversary in Spectra. Nice hit there, mate.
Luka? Who's this guy? Played for the Sixers.
So we have to make a joke here between the card being a bit cut out and Ben Simmons' back, surely, don't we?
Maybe.
And that's such an odd shape for a die cut too. Look at it. The corners are cut that way.
Shaped like a vertebrae. Anyway, rough.
I felt bad.
I
Even
didn't.
hinting at that, actually. Yeah.
No, nah.
Luke Rowe, hope you're well, buddy. This is a Jabari Smith Jr. 41 out of 49. Did you see his scuffle with Chris Dunn?
No.
He got suspended for a game for basically being punched in the face. I think he should appeal that. That was appalling.
You should probably go and have a chat to Rudy Gobert.
Chris Dunn got 2 games for it. He definitely deserved the 2 games, by the way. I've got no troubles with that, but yeah. And a Tari Eason sticker rookie card. Nice one there, Luke.
Nice. Who's that? Michael Gardena with a Jaren Jackson Jr. Is that on card? I reckon Spectra is all on card, isn't it?
Some sticker, right? Yeah.
Some sticker, some on. That Triple J is a sweet looking card. I just like the way the hologram sort of.
Yeah, that set pops, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. It pops in the right spots, I think is the right way to say it.
I've actually enjoyed this segment more than I thought because it actually highlights there are some nice cards in Spectra. For me, Spectra is a funny one. It's almost like a high-end Revo. And I'm not dismissive of it, but I'm not into it as much as I probably should be. And particularly after looking through these, actually, I'm like, this is kind of cool. So this is a green Shengun. This is from Travis Parker.
Very Christmas-themed Shengun.
I think that's the Asia exclusive, actually. So
it's a nice card.
If you're looking to collect on a budget, and look, Travis, if I'm wrong about this, mate, I do apologize, but I don't think that is an overly expensive card. So if you're looking to get into Spectra and, you've got a bit of a budget happening, the Asia exclusives, check those out. They are delicious. Yeah.
And then Luke Batterston, again. We've got a Cade jersey auto.
RPA, you might say. And this last one, Nick, look, we really appreciate the support, but I'm almost hard-lined on this. I refuse to talk about NFL. The fact that I've said NFL is like me going one step too far, personally.
Still Spectra.
Yeah.
He's going to call you on a technicality in your post. Cheeky. Pretty sure it's the NBA Trading Card Podcast.
That's right, yeah. This next one is Tyrese Halliburton. So I think we should talk about this because earlier in the season, we were frothing over this guy. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still really, really high on this kid. And I've got no problems with being high on him either. Mm-hmm. So
I think he's still going to be special.
All right, hear me out on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The league changed the rules about players coming back. Halliburton could have rested his injury, but actually came back on a minutes restriction to get his games in so he can qualify for whatever awards he's going to qualify this year. Maybe All-NBA, second or third team. Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is his production has definitely dipped off since he came back from his injury and All-Star break. So I think...
Well, yeah, I watched him today. He wasn't great.
Yeah. And I think some of that is now being directly correlated into his prices where people have definitely seen a drop-off in his production.
Yeah.
Do I think this is a long-term issue for this guy? No, I don't. I'm going to turn this around the other way. I'm going to say this is an opportunity. So if you were saying to yourself 3 months ago, I missed out on the Halliburton bubble, I missed out on the opportunity, his prices have gone too high.
Yeah.
Now's the time to put these cards into your eBay auction list, put in some low bids, put them into your watch list, start stocking up and seeing what's in the marketplace for Halliburton because the real question is he going to go down more? I think the answer is going to be yes, because often what happens is as people start to trend down, they will, go down a bit more. So the question is, when is the bottom? Do you wait for the off season to jump into this Halliburton market?
Do you think everyone forgets about how good he is in the off season and he just tanks that little bit more?
Well, I think what my concern is that if he's trending down now and then someone else might sort of pick up in the next couple of months, like for example, Edwards going to the playoffs.
Yeah, that could.
The other one I'm sort of half keeping my eye on at the moment is Banchero. I think the Magic getting to the playoffs this year is going to be, significant. You could even make an argument for Franz Wagner in that space.
There's a lot there with Orlando sort of really pushing for a top 4 in the East.
And if he keeps dipping off and then we go into the off season, it might be the prime time to pick this kid up. So that's probably where I'm going with this. Look, do I think this is going to affect his long-term hobby viability? Not at all. This is unfortunately part of the game of cards, going up and down.
Yeah.
Are you buying this? Are you buying this at sub 400 ad?
I think I might wait. I reckon I can get a 250 deal in the off season. If Indiana exit early, I think a lot of the the hype on Halliburton will die off.
Sure.
So I'm going to set my little watch list at 250.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's looking for the opportunity on the dip, right?
Yeah. I would say that's a pretty hard dip because that would be almost a 50% drop that he would incur in a pretty short period of time.
So my big reservation, and I love what Halliburton's done this year. I think he's put up some amazing stats.
Yeah.
My only concern is he plays in Indiana.
Yeah.
And it's just I feel like with that kind of market, success needs to follow. And unless the Pacers can really sort of put something together and do something, I just have concerns about price point. So that's why I set a low bar, and if it does get there, then I start to froth it pretty much.
Froth it or profit?
Froth it and profit. That's not catching on, and I don't want that better not catch on.
That should not be a t-shirt.
Profit and profit. Profit for profit? No, that's it. Nah, that's even worse. We can go to jersey swaps if you want to take it down this road.
Let's move on to the next segment. The next segment is a Kobe Bryant 2005 Finest Super Refractor 1 of 1 PSA 10. That is a mouthful, but this card is something else.
Speaking of frothing it,
I'm just leading you into this, Adam, so you can talk to us about this card. Tell us about this card. Where are you at with this card?
I want to try and show those playing at home.
Bit of a tricky one just because of the way that they've put the video together for this one.
Yeah, it's on our good friends at Golden. Wow.
We have no sponsorship alliance with these guys, by the way. When we say good friends, we just mean we love
in the most sarcastic way popular.
Oh, okay.
No. I did. I sent Ken Golden a friend request. No, I'm joking.
Did he respond? That's the real question.
No, he hasn't sent a plane out to inspect any of my cards yet. This is special. This is I'm curious.
All right, 2 questions I've got for you for this. What do you think this will sell for at auction? Because this is basically just a promotion for their auction. Mm-hmm. And my second question is, would you prefer that or a patch autograph of Kobe if you had to pick between the two of similar price points? Like an exquisite.
That's a one. Nah, this is a 1 of 1.
Yeah, and that's fine if that's your answer. Yeah. So that means you're more of a purist when it comes to cards. You don't like all this memorabilia built into it and autographs and stuff like that.
I don't mind it, but that is a pretty piece, that card.
This has really stumped you, hasn't it? I can see you're deep in thought.
No, I think this is going to go for a lot of money.
All right, what do you think it's going to go for?
I'd say $500,000.
Yeah, I was actually going to say more. I think this is going to go for 650, like 700.
650, 700. Yeah, look. Oh, yeah.
And so would you prefer this or a similar valued patch autograph card, something like this? Eminence, exquisite. Segue again, but there is a lot of Kobe Bryant Eminence on eBay at the moment too. A lot of it.
Yeah. It's yeah. This is a special piece. I don't know if there's something I'd comp it to. So
okay,
yeah, I'd very much like. I mean, Kobe 1 of 1's like a one of those bucket list things for me. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's awesome though.
I think your opinion holds a lot more weight here than me, and this also might show up a little bit of the way I view the hobby because some card purists don't want autographs on cards. They just want a significant card, something like this or an old school Lou Alcindor rookie card that is in a PSA slab, something like that, right? Whereas for me, I'm not going to lie to you, I love a beautiful autograph across a card, particularly when it adds to the aesthetics of it. And I also love the patches. Some of the game-worn stuff that has been in cards over the years.
Yeah.
I just loved it. It's all the joy of the card.
Yeah.
And so for me, probably where I'm going with this is it's almost like the Wemby versus the Jokic from earlier on where you're like, okay, so you've got 5,000, what would you be better off spending it on? I think for me, the aesthetics of it, I'd rather like a really nice patch autograph, particularly of Kobe. I think Kobe
I don't know about the patch. I'm just
they're pretty important.
The auto is important. I don't know
I
about
think
the
a
patch.
game worn
Yeah,
Kobe
okay.
patch like that for me I would prefer that in my collection than that. Now, the only other thing I want to add to this though too is that I think Panini have done some good things for the card hobby, and they've done some good artwork and stuff like that, but they've also stolen a lot of ideas. So what parallel does that look like to you?
Which
The Kobe, what would you compare that to a modern day parallel? What would you say that is? Because for me, that looks like a different type of variant of the mosaic. I really feel like they've borrowed that and they've brought that forward and sort of refined it, through their processes. So, I also love that it was almost, the grandfather of the mosaic or something like this.
That's the that is the OG,
Yeah.
I guess, mosaic.
Yeah.
And then they Panini they kind of mass produced it.
Yeah. So we're at an hour and 5 minutes at the moment. We've got a few more things in the run sheet, but why don't I let you pick the last one? Tatum versus Mitchell or Mallow versus Wade? What would you like?
I'm Tatum versus Mitchell. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
This will be fun. I like a player versus player, and they're kind of relevant.
Okay, this is actually amazing because this is exactly what I was just talking to you about 2 seconds ago. This is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jason Tatum, flawless RPA to 15.
Yep.
Beautiful 2-colored patch there, on-card autograph versus the shiny card without an autograph, without a patch, Gem Mint 10, Donovan Mitchell, rookie gold kaboom. Both of them sold for basically exactly the same price. Let me rephrase that.
Exactly the same price.
$6,710. Adam, which card are you taking?
I'm literally going to go against what I said with the Kobe just now.
That's fine. I don't think there's.
I'm taking the Tatum because I don't rate Mitchell. But if the shoes were on the other foot, I'd take the kaboom. I think rookie kabooms are such an interesting way to get it. Like to get someone's rookie card.
Yeah.
And that is an amazing looking like kaboom and the fact that it's rookie year as well. So I think it's a really nice flawless patch RPA.
So I think let's say this is flipped around. It was the Donovan Mitchell RPA 15 or the Tatum kaboom. Can I be honest with you? At the end of the day, I'd probably just go with the Tatum because I think what you touched on at the start is probably at the end of the day the most important thing is the collectability and the long-term collectability. Look, can I be honest with you? Actually, the irony for me at the end of the day on this is that Mitchell has been playing really, really good basketball this year, and I touched on this last week. Not that fantasy is real life, and sometimes I need to get a reality check on this, but actually Donovan Mitchell has been amazing on the court this year. That when he's been on the court, he's had some injury problems, but it's just sometimes funny that numbers matter in the NBA, but then at the same time, they don't, because Tatum's numbers this year haven't been fantastic, but the thing that has been fantastic this year has been the Celtics record, and they've been a
juggernaut.
They've been a tough out this year, and they've been very consistent. That's the other thing too, that they've really turned things around now.
Yeah.
Is even if Tatum has an off game, they've got enough in their stables just to keep on coming through, and it's just not an issue for them. So
yeah.
Look, I'm also going for the Tatum RPA. I sort of hate to agree with you on this one, but I'm actually really curious to know the person who paid 6-7 for a kaboom when they could have picked up a flawless for the same price. Like that to me is a really interesting sort of secondary conversation. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you're right.
Look, at the end of the day, though, what could be really funny about this is that kaboom could be very, very valuable. Like we've talked about this in terms of, this is the modern PMG. So maybe that's what the person was betting on here, saying, look, what are PMGs selling for?
Yeah, it's going to be a $100,000 card. Yeah.
Right. Raw PMGs, what are they selling for these days? 20,000, 25,000. I've just bought a 10 for 6 and, some change. Like, why can't that be an $85,000 card at a minimum in the future? So, I don't think that's a horrible gamble, to be honest. Yeah.
Look, and I think there are people that have made when they prospect on a card. This is obviously some high end prospecting, but that's it's a calculated risk.
This is not pocket change.
Definitely not. $6,000. It's $6,700 and pocket change.
That's right.
The $10 at the end, maybe.
That's it.
But yeah,
Look,
no, I'd still take the Tatum, and that's the thing, and that's me doing the future prospecting because of my projection on who's going to have the better career.
Yeah, look, and I think we both agreed on the same card, but we also presented an alternative view here. So that actually, now that we've spoken that through with the PMG potential, like it's not insane, is it?
It's a gold kaboom. It's definitely,
it's PSA 10.
Yeah. It's definitely not going to sell for $67 anytime soon.
No.
Yeah.
Look, I think we tie off the show, Ad. I think we've had a great show. Thank you so much for tonight. It was an absolute pleasure as always.
It's been great. Thanks to everybody that tuned in and had a listen, and thanks to everybody at Central Coast Radio for staying with us.
For bringing us back for episode 3. Yeah.
Look, I'm sure we've got at least 2 new listeners, maybe 3. Who knows?
A few more than 2.
I know.
We had a few.
It was good. It's nice. Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll see everybody next week. Have a fantastic Easter.
Easter, that's right. Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.